Hey everybody, I'm Benjamin, aka The Terrible Australian of SuperMarcy.com, and welcome to my video review of the indie comedy drama Me and Earl and the Dying Girl. So let's get right into it. I should say right off the bat, I don't get me wrong, I love indie films. I mean, who doesn't? Because I think some of the best films today are ones from the indie film scene. But there's one type of film that I'm always very mixed on when it comes to indie films, and that's kind of the quirky indie film. And to be honest, when I don't mind quirky, but it has, but I don't like when a quirky indie film becomes so overtly quirky, and that type of sort of film just really drives me up the wall at times, and it just comes off as rather, you know, just just annoying and frustrating, and I know there's a lot of films out there like that, and there are some that I have liked, but some of the best ones to me what are the ones that sort of are not so overt about it, but there's a lot of ones out there in the world that are just go at that with 110% that it just gets really frustrating and annoying when I watch it. And that's probably why, for a lot of reasons, why I'm not, say, the biggest Wes Anderson fan, because a lot of his films are kind of like that. Not all of them. I mean, there are some that I like, but I think for most of his output, even though he's made some fine films, I've never been 100% on board with him, mainly because of how that they're a bit too quirky for my taste. And I will admit, though, from the very beginning of Me and Earl and the Dying Girl, I started getting that same feeling as well, and I thought, oh no, this film's going to go down that hole, and really annoying and really pretentious kind of quirkiness that really infuriates me at times with some of these indie films. And there's a lot of that in there in this first half of the film, but it sort of eases down a bit as the film goes on. Thank goodness. Even though it still retains that quirkiness throughout. But I have to say, what I really liked about the film is that while it has that sort of quirky vibe, it also really well manages the sort of balance between the sort of the tearjerker aspect of it. And particularly, because with the main character, since the film, of course, is about the three characters, and about the lead character played by Thomas Mann, and his friends Earl, played by Ronald II, and of course the Dying Girl of the title, played by Olivia Cooke. I really like the sort of the relationship between these three characters. Like, I will admit that Thomas Mann's character was kind of aggravating as a character. Not I wouldn't say aggravating, more of not likable in the first act, but as the film sort of goes on and we sort of see, like, we get more in depth with his character and and sort of his relationship with his friends and his family and all that, and what he's sort of going through emotionally. We do become a bit more emotionally attached to him as a character, and that way I think it in a way works for the film. And I can understand some people not liking his character at all, and I can get that. But I will admit, though, I did warm up to him as the film went on. But to me, a lot of one of the things I really liked about this film was the supporting cast. Besides, the three leads that I mentioned, you've got Connie, Britton, Nick Offerman, John Bernthal, Molly Shannon, who are all really good in their performances, and I actually quite like them when they're all on screen. And also some of the other supporting cast, whose names I can't think of at the top of my head at the moment, who are all really solid in their performances as well. But to me, the standout performance, of course, is Olivia Cooke, who I thought sort of brought that sort of grounded feel to the film and that emotional weight. And I can understand some people might say it's kind of, her character is very manipulative, but not her in the film, but the character being somewhat manipulative to us as an audience, mainly because her character is dying, and you get that sort of, and some people can see that the film's just basically trying to tug at the heartstrings and be sentimental because of that. But I think what I really liked about Olivia Cooke in this film is that she brought such humanity to a character, and in a way that she doesn't come off of kind of like those, the kind of the manic pixie dream girl type of characters what we see in other films like this. And she's, like I said, she just brings a lot of groundedness to the character and as well as her performance. And and you can't help but feel for her throughout the whole movie. And I just found her performance to be really good. And also, it's very well directed. It's directed by Alfonso Gomez-Rejon. I probably pronounced his last name wrong, so forgive me. And he's directed a lot of stuff in the past. He's directed episodes for like American Horror Story, and he previously directed the sort of remake slash sequel slash meta horror film, The Town That Dreaded Sundown, as well. And I think he did a really good job here with his direction, and the film looks stunning. It's a beautiful looking film, and it probably helps that the cinematographer behind this film was Chung Hoon Chung, who is Park Chan Wook's regular cinematographer, and he shot a lot of his films, and most recently Stoker. So the film looks great. The score is really good as well, and it well acted. Like I said, in terms of sort of negatives about the film, like I said, at times, particularly in the first half, I did find the sort of the quirkiness a little much at times. Like when it sort of downplays it didn't bother me at all. But when it gets a little too much, it can get a bit annoying. And also, like I said, for some of the characters, it took me a bit of a while to sort of, and particularly the main one, to sort of warm up to them as well. But as sort of the film progresses along, I did. And also, even though I did find the last half to be quite moving as well. But it is sort of a bit sentimental as well. So, but at the same time, I can forgive the film, at least for that as well. And also, there's also some aspects of the film I did find a bit cliched as well. It's not like anything particularly new that happens in this film that we haven't seen before. So overall, I do think Me and Earl and the Dying Girl does have its flaws, and I can understand some people. And it's definitely a film that people are either going to love or not really like at all. But for me personally, I think it's a pretty solid film. I think it's quite an enjoyable little film that's both funny and quite moving as well. Once you sort of get past that sort of quirk factor of it, particularly in the first half, then it definitely became a much more engaging experience to me as a film. So overall, if I had to give this film a rating, I would give it 3.5 stars, and I'd say it's worth a watch. But it sort of comes down to whether you're sort of in the same boat as me, whether you sort of like quirky movies or not. Or if you're just mixed on them like I am. So, yep, that's the end of my video review of Me and Earl and the Dying Girl. I hope you guys all enjoyed it, and I'll see you all later. See you, everyone. Bye.